Ooh, okay, so Tacoma, Washington was just ranked as one of the top three places to move in the entire country. And it's no doubt that it's very well deserving. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people are not necessarily moving into the city, they're moving into our suburbs. And there is one suburb I think as we go into and through 2024 is going to stand out and shine above the rest. That suburb is Bonney Lake, Washington. Today I'm going to walk you through a full map tour of Bonney Lake, Washington. I'm also going to show you what your money gets you at different price points by looking at some homes and then showing you what the real estate market looks like and what those trends are going to be moving into 2024 and through the rest of the year. If you're thinking about making a move out to Tacoma, you're going to reach out to us. Our information is in the description box below. And if you know everything about the Tacoma area and Bonney Lake, hit that subscribe button. All right, we're going to jump into Google Maps and walk you through this suburb that you've got to know about for 2024, and we're getting after it right now. All right, so here we are. We're going to talk about everything you know about living in Bonney Lake for 2024. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through Google Maps. We're going to look at the town in general. We're going to look at some of the real estate trends, and then we're also going to dive into some of their Bonney Lake schools and some examples of what your money can get you here in Bonney Lake. Let's get into this. All right, so right here you see the outline of the city of Bonney Lake, and you can see where it is in relation to Tacoma. Here's SeaTac Airport, and up north here is Seattle. So what does that mean as far as travel times? Well, if you're in Bonney Lake and your idea is that you're going to need to be traveling into Tacoma, which is fairly normal, that's our most popular big city close, you're going to end up spending about 27 minutes to get into Tacoma. Now, there are a lot of people that live in Bonney Lake that work in Tacoma because it is so close and it is so convenient to get to. If you need to hit SeaTac Airport, you're going to come up here, go up 167 over, and basically hit SeaTac Airport in about 35 minutes. And then as far as traveling up to Seattle, you're looking at about 55 minutes, really to 1 hour to get to Seattle. All right, diving into Bonney Lake, let's get into town. All right, so up north, we have Lake Tapps. Lake Tapps is this beautiful glacier-fed lake. It's absolutely huge. There is a fantastic restaurant on the island. There's the Tapps Island Golf Course, which you can see right here. These islands all have homes on them, so you get some pretty cool places to live if you choose to live on Lake Tapps. Now, these are, of course, going to be more expensive properties than a lot of other areas in town. One spot I really like here in Lake Tapps is the Tapps Island Lodge. So it's right here on Island B, and the Tapps Island Lodge is a fantastic little restaurant. Chris and I have went and hung out there, and the views off of it have great views of Mount Rainier. So it's a cool place to sit, overlook the water, and also see the mountain. Really nice place to chill out and relax. As far as Lake Tapps goes, there are two major parks that are used for accessing the lake. The first one is going to be Allen York Park. This is going to be one of the most popular parks in Bonney Lake. Allen York Park itself is a great little swimming hole. They have a cordoned off place for kids to swim. It's got ball fields, it's got a playground, and it even has some apartments that are just getting wrapped up, getting built around it. So there is some affordable housing down there. And Allen York Park is actually free to the public to access. Parking is free. Now in the summer, this is going to get really, really busy. So if you're living in the Bonney Lake area and you want to access the lake, you're going to have to be very early to that one. Now, the other option is to come up north and access Lake Tapps Park. Now, this one is a paid park. So there's only a certain number of spots, there's only a certain number of cars, and when it's full, they shut this place down. It's an 80-acre park. It does have boat ramps. It does have swimming. I will tell you that I think the experience at Lake Tapps Park is a little bit nicer than the one you're going to get down at Allen York. So if I personally have the choice, I'm always kind of trying to make the move to get myself up there at Lake Tapps Park on those hot summer days. All right, heading south of Lake Tapps, the next major lake that we're going to look at is going to be Lake Bonney, and this is going to be this area right here. And you can see this road wraps around the lake. So this lake is actually circled by a small community. You can get into this lake, you can fish in it. Probably wouldn't swim in it. It always seems kind of dirty. But one of the great things about it is that it is accessible if you live in the neighborhood. There are no gas-powered motors in this lake, so it's a little more quiet. It's a very chill area to live around versus more of that party life that you're going to get on Lake Tapps. You can see here as we zoom in around it, there's this nice little loop here that just kind of goes around. And this is where a lot of these homes here are on the lake. Another thing to note is behind Bonney Lake Elementary School is the Viking Off the Leash Dog Park. Dogs are loved in Washington, and I really like the concept of this park because, first of all, off the leash is great because dogs can run free and absolutely have a ton of fun. But it's also open to all kinds of dogs. So it's not shut down where it's just big dogs or just small dogs. And if you have energetic pups, this park has an area that has a really big slope. So you can tire those guys out, letting them run around on the Viking Park. As we continue to head south, you're going to run to the major road here in Bonney Lake, which is going to be the 410. Now, this right here is the 410. It runs kind of the entire width of Bonney Lake. And if we zoom way out, you can really see the extent of the 410. It just keeps going. In fact, this is one of the best routes to Mount Rainier. And you can actually be there in about an hour. The 410 would basically just take you from right here in Bonney Lake. You just follow it through Buckley and Enumclaw, going all the way down through Greenwood, all the way down into Mount Rainier National Park. This is going to take you probably about an hour. I really like this route into Mount Rainier versus going on this side here because there is some fun little trails. There's a lot of places here where you can stop and you can get out, and like Tipsoo Lake is beautiful. We just took Finley, my youngest, out to Tipsoo Lake. We gave him the camera. We let him run around. Let you guys take a peek at this.
Okay, you gotta hold it still and you gotta hold it up where people can see what you're looking at.
Okay.
You're gonna look at you gotta tell them what you're seeing.
So,
They need to know.
today well, not today, but we're looking at some water. Hey Dad, should I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, this is gonna be crazy. My hair. Ew, muddy. Oh, it's cold, actually.
As far as having a small child, I think this route is great because some of the hikes can be really big. They can be really exhausting. But going this route, we're able to stop, get him a snack, check out the mountain, check out some beautiful waterfalls. And it takes us about an hour. And then we were headed back and we're home. But let's get back to the 410 at Bonney Lake. So the 410 is going to be the main road that you're going to see here in Bonney Lake. And this is where, most of everything really is going to be. You're going to have all of your major shopping is going to be on here. So here's Target right here. You have the Walmart Super Center. Really, honestly, you can just kind of travel down the 410 and you're going to hit all kinds of shopping for yourself. You can just pick and choose whatever you want. Here's Safeway. Fred Meyer's is down the way here. Costco is down the way here. Notable things here on the 410 is always having a Chick-fil-A and a crumble cookie right next to each other is great if that's, you like to eat. Again, there's a Fred Meyer's and the Safeway. So a couple. And then we do have a movie theater right here off the 410. There's McDonald's, Wendy's, Sonic, basically Burger King, Taco Bell. All of that is going to be right here off this one road. There's not a lot of what I would call like sexy shopping. There's not a lot of sexy restaurants, but enough, to really get you by right here off the 410. And if you keep traveling down the 410, this is going to take you into Buckley, into Enumclaw. And if you're going this way, if you're heading out west, it'll take you towards Puyallup, towards Tacoma, towards the exit for Seattle. So it is definitely the main thoroughfare here in Bonney Lake. As we flow south past the Costco and keep working our way down, you're going to run into two of the main schools here, which is Bonney Lake High School and Mountain View Middle School. These do both come off of the same road. So one thing I can tell you is if you are heading south or you're dealing with the schools, just know that if you've got to go south in Bonney Lake, that you are going to be running into some really rough time when schools either get coming in or when school is going out. You're going to have buses from both schools leaving, and you're also going to be having parents coming and dropping off their kids. So this area right here, I would probably call this like my danger zone. Out to the west, you have Sky Island. Sky Island is a beautiful neighborhood. If you've watched our top neighborhoods in Bonney Lake, you've gotten to see this neighborhood. Sky Island has fantastic homes ranging from $700,000 to about $1.5 million. Has fantastic views of Mount Rainier, the Cascades, just beautiful to look at. These guys also crush it during Christmas. They do a fantastic job of trick-or-treating during Halloween, and there's some parks in there so that you can, if you live there, you have places for your kiddos to play. Heading south from Sky Island, we're going to run into the Fennel Creek Trailhead. This is a really fun trail to hike. You can do it with kids, you can do it with older folks. There's some really cool stairs. There's some bridges that walk over water. The views are really, really beautiful, and it will go down towards Victor Falls, which is one of the only waterfalls in Bonney Lake. In fact, it's really tucked away, and if you're driving down Rhodes Lake Road, you probably would not even know it was there if I hadn't already told you about it. But this is a really good hike to test out if you're living in Bonney Lake. Now, as far as living in Bonney Lake, there are two neighborhoods that are really up and coming and moving very, very fast. So the first one is going to be Falling Water by KB right here in this area down south of the city, because there's more room to grow. There's more room to build out here. The population of Bonney Lake has doubled in the last 20 years, and it just continues to kind of grow out. KB homes with Falling Water, we've done a few new builds here. They are more reasonably priced. They do have some views of Mount Rainier. They're putting in parks. The new extensions that's coming in 2024 is going to have pickleball courts, basketball courts, and just really trying to up their game as they continue to build out over by Tehaleh. So what is Tehaleh, I guess you could ask? Well, if you head just down south with this one-way in and one-way out road, 198, you have Tehaleh, which is, obviously where we're at right now. Here's the thing about Tehaleh. People either love Tehaleh or they hate Tehaleh, but what you cannot deny is the fact that our little neighborhood is exploding and will continue to explode in 2024. We're continuing to grow out down towards the southwest right now, and there's more and more areas building out this way. Richmond Homes America just started this Tye Ridge, Reflection Park, Discovery Park. Tehaleh Heights is actually where Finley, my youngest, goes to school. And as you can see, like this is kind of my area. So it's about a 10-minute walk to a school. I think this is one of the most beautiful things about Tehaleh. Like, look at how many parks there are. Park, 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 park. I just keep saying park till it annoys you, but it keeps going. I mean, all these are all parks in Tehaleh. There's also about 40 miles of trails. There are right now 12 builders that are currently trying to build inside of this neighborhood. And I really believe that maybe not in 2024, but in the very, very near future, Tehaleh itself will actually have more residents than all of Bonney Lake. We already have 2 elementary schools. It's just a matter of time before we get a middle school here and this thing just takes off. So if you're looking for a new build community that is a little bit out of the way and surrounded by green, then Tehaleh's it. I mean, look at this. There's green everywhere, right? This is the community, and all this green here, this is all just woods and green. It's a really nice escape, especially when you consider how close we really are to being in, right by Tacoma, and we're just, 50 minutes from being in downtown Seattle. One of the biggest complaints people have about moving to a city is they feel like they can't ever escape. I love this area. I think it's a fantastic move for 2024. 30 minutes to Tacoma, an hour to Mount Rainier, an hour to Seattle, 35 minutes of flying out of it. I don't think you can beat it in 2024. What's the cost of living like in Bonney Lake? Well, it's no surprise that living in Bonney Lake is not cheap with all the things that it has going for it. But that said, when you take a look and you compare over the last year and you look at Bonney Lake, Tacoma, and Seattle, you can see that you do have a good opportunity to buy a house, with Bonney Lake being one of the most expensive suburbs in Pierce County. Now, Pierce County is the county that Tacoma is in. You can see in the red lines, this is all of Pierce County, and it is a gigantic county. And Bonney Lake is one of the most expensive suburbs here. Homes also do not sit on the market very long. We are in October right now. You're hearing about interest rates going crazy. You're hearing about homes sitting on the market for months and months and months. But Bonney Lake, you can see their homes are always sitting on the market for about a month. Same with Tacoma and same with Seattle. It's like our entire area forgot that there was some kind of a slowdown in real estate. And look at these home prices. Now, obviously Seattle, their average is going to sit closer to $1 million, like many major cities. That's the case. And this is all types of real estate altogether. This is everything residential. Tacoma is about $463,000, but Bonney Lake is about $650,000. So if you take the Tacoma price point here and you look at the difference between Tacoma and Bonney Lake, not only can you see a change in the growth pattern, but also in the spread that is coming. So a lot of people are pushing into Bonney Lake. They're raising prices in 2024, and the trend in Tacoma for 2024 coming up is it looks like a decrease. Same with Seattle. If people are going to pay more money, then they want a better deal. They want a more comfortable suburb. And frankly, Bonney Lake has a little bit more of a conservative edge, and that's driving more people to it as well. Schools are another huge driver of why Bonney Lake is something you've got to know about in 2024. So Bonney Lake is part of the Sumner Bonney Lake School District. It's one of the top 5 school systems in all of Pierce County. It does span from Sumner, Washington into Bonney Lake. They are a combined school district. Overall grade on niche.com is a B+, B+ for academics, diversity, college, everything's pretty good. It's above the level. One of the things that I think really puts this school district as something you take into account is the student-teacher ratio. Sumner Bonney Lake has really spent a lot of time making sure that kids are getting enough time with their teachers. The ratio is about 21-1. I can tell you that Finley especially has a great relationship with his teacher, being in elementary, and I get a lot of constant contact from my teenagers' teachers. They seem very involved. They're always keeping us up to date. If they ever have any concerns, they're not afraid to reach out. And we have easy access to school officials as well. Another thing that really stands out is that Bonney Lake and Sumner has a great school district for athletes. Now, I'll tell you, between you, me, and Fence Post, Sumner definitely carries us on the football side. But as far as sports like soccer, track and field, and things along those lines, Bonney Lake is really killing it. I have a daughter that's 16. She's already getting offers from Division I schools as they're keeping track of the Sumner Bonney Lake track records. So if you want your kid to be plugged into something somewhere that they can really excel and colleges are going to take advantage of, paying attention to them, this is a good one. They also have programs that allow these kids to graduate in 2024 with an associate's degree leaving high school. Down here, you can kind of see a map of the location of all of the schools. So there's obviously a lot of different options as far as where your kid can go to school. You see a lot of A's in there with some B's, B pluses sprinkled in there, but really no problem schools. And I think when you're looking to make a move in 2024, this is a big plus for Bonney Lake. There's not a school falling behind. So what are the top schools? So Tehaleh Heights, which is Finley's school, is rated number 1. These elementary schools. Donald Eisman is also right here in the neighborhood. Bonney Lake Elementary is over there by the dog park, which we talked about earlier. Now, last thing on the list, let's chat about some of the homes for sale in Bonney Lake. You can kind of see right here on the map, this is the area that we're covered. Taps on, we're going a little bit north up to the Muckleshoot Reservation. This is our website, by the way. So if you ever want to search for homes, look at things, just jump over to www.livingintacomawashington.com. And you can search homes for free. You can read our blogs, watch our YouTube videos, whatever right there. So what I've done is I've actually selected several different homes, 3 homes for us to look at and chat about so you can get an idea of what a home costs and what it looks like here in Bonney Lake. All right, number 1, we're gonna look at a home that's kind of below the average price point. This home here is on 196th. It's 4 bedrooms, it's 2 bath. It's sitting at about 610. Very well manicured, great landscaping, good neighborhood. Now, this one is not in a big subdivision. We are pretty close to the lake here, as you can see in this photo, but it is 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It's about 1,800 square feet for $609. Price per square foot is going to be about $325 a square. Looking at those numbers, they were on the market about 71 days, so it did sit a little bit longer before going pending, but this is also on a corner lot with a really pretty deck. So this gives you an idea of what you're going to get for about $600,000. Now, this next home is one I was actually literally just in the model of. I just filmed this for some clients of mine, Brandon and Elizabeth, that are moving to Bonney Lake in 2024. And this one they're very interested in. This one is in my neighborhood. It's inside of Tehaleh. It's a 5 bedroom, 3.5 bath, and it's right at about 3,700 square feet, going for a little under $925. Lot size is about 4,054 square feet. So we do have much smaller lots here in Tehaleh. And the reason for that is we have all those parks. We have a ton of green spaces, 45 miles of trails. So, we really don't rely on our backyards for hanging out and playing around. We get out, we get on the trails, and we really just go that way. The majority of these builds right here are looking like they're going to be out until about midsummer before a lot of these are built. So if you're considering a new build, you definitely have got to reach out to us. Do not go into this on your own. Builders operate their own very, very special way. They have their own contracts. We're here to negotiate for you, help you out, and navigate that, especially if you're going to become my neighbor. I'd love to be a part of helping you sort through all that. then lastly, I want to show you a house on the lake, since we talked a lot about lake taps. Now, this house is going for 1.65 million. It has about 210 feet of shoreline. You can see it's got its own private boat dock, 2 stories, a beautiful deck that looks over the lake. This is just a stunning property. I love the fire pit. It gives me that, back home in the Midwest type of feel. Square footage is about 3,400. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Price is going to be about $482 a square foot. Now, you definitely could not get anything on a lake up in Seattle for this price point. Now, one major difference with a price at this range in Bonney Lake versus inside of Seattle, or maybe out west on the coast by Tacoma, is you'll notice this property has been on the market for about 120 days. Well, that's because people do pay more here. They do spend more money here, but they are not typically spending $1.6 million. So the buyer for this property is a little bit more unique because they're able to spend big money, but they are not looking to do it inside the city.
I don't know about you, but that definitely looks like a place I would like to live. If that's your vibe, or even if it's not, and you think maybe I need to help you find another suburb, reach out to us. I don't care if you move in the next 3 days or the next 3 months. You know I'm here for you. And that information, again, is in the description box below. And until next time, damn, I cannot wait till you get out here so I can show you around. I'm also going to show you kind of where your description box. Today, I'm going to walk you.